And here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday. It's the 19th of November, 2020. It's the birthday of the poet Sharon Olds, 1942, in Berkeley. Sharon Olds, who said, "Writing poems moves us past where we were when we sat down to write them." She said, "I write the way I perceive, I guess. It's not really simple, I don't think, but it's about ordinary things, feeling about things, about people. I'm not an intellectual. I'm not an abstract thinker, and I'm interested in ordinary life." 1863, on this date, Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, dedicating the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg 4.5 months after the battle. Foggy, cold morning. The president arrived about 10 in the morning. About noon, the sun came out. Crowds gathered on a hill overlooking the battlefield. The headline orator was Edward Everett, who spoke for more than 2 hours describing the Battle of Gettysburg in great detail. And when he finished, Lincoln got up and spoke for just over 2 minutes, under 300 words, about 10 sentences. Many people were distracted by a photographer setting up his camera, and they didn't even notice that the president was speaking. And so, at least at the time, it was true what Lincoln said: "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." And it was on this day, 1956, Ernest Hemingway went back to the Hôtel Ritz in Paris and found a trunk that he had left there in 1930, which contained notebooks about his life in Paris in the 20s, which he used to write his memoir, A Movable Feast. His health was in decline, he was deeply depressed, but he finished the book and then committed suicide, and the memoir was published posthumously. In the book, he said, "Paris was a very old city, and we were young, and nothing was simple there, not even poverty, nor the moonlight, nor right and wrong, nor the breathing of someone who lay beside you in the moonlight." Here's a poem for today by Tony Hoagland entitled Wind Chime. She goes out to hang the wind chime in her nightie and her work boots. It's 6:30 in the morning, and she's standing on the plastic ice chest, tiptoe to reach the cross beam of the porch. Wind chime in her left hand, hammer in her right, the nail gripped tight between her teeth. But nothing happens next because she's trying to figure out how to switch number 1 with number 3. She must have been standing in the kitchen, coffee in her hand, asleep, when she heard it, the wind blowing through the sound the wind chime wasn't making because it wasn't there. No one, including me, especially anymore, believes till death do us part, but I can see what I would miss in leaving, the way her ankles go into the work boots as she stands on the ice chest, the problem scrunched into her forehead, the little kissable mouth with the nail in it. A poem entitled Wind Chime by Tony Hoagland from What Narcissism Means to Me, published by Grey Wolf Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.